If you're thinking about moving to Greenville, South Carolina, and you're an Ohioan, you are going to want to hear this video today and get the perspective from these two former Ohio natives. Here, Dave and Miranda. So I'm Evan Whaley. I run the Living in Greenville SC team. If you're thinking about making a relocation to the area, this is the channel for you, so please check us out. So now we're gonna do this news anchor style, guys. And I appreciate your time and being willing to do this. So I know you guys relocated here to Greenville from Ohio and you were in Dayton. I guess if you could just share a little bit here, why did you decide to make the move to Greenville, South Carolina?
Yeah, so Evan, what brought us here was a job offer. I originally got offered in Charlotte, North Carolina, and you know, that just wasn't the city for my wife and I. So they turned around and they offered Greenville, South Carolina, and we've never been, so we packed up the dogs, came down, and almost instantly fell in love. Went to a local brewery, everybody was wildly friendly. It just felt like that Midwest vibe of everybody being so friendly with Southern hospitality blend to it.
Awesome. So you mentioned a few things that you really loved. What ultimately, I guess, was the deciding factor and made you say, hey, this is the place we need to move to?
The mountains. He's always felt a calling towards the mountains. And we love getting out and hiking and exploring. And when we came to Greenville, and it was so accessible to mountains and outdoor areas and eating and shopping, and it just felt like where we should be. Everybody was friendly. We love Falls Park and walking around downtown with our dogs and meeting people, and it's just beautiful and clean and welcoming.
You guys have mentioned dogs a lot. Can you share a little bit about the perspective of how friendly of a dog community is Greenville?
I think it's a very dog-friendly community. We take our dogs pretty much most places that we go, and with the great weather here and so many days of sunshine, it's wonderful.
I know that's really important to a lot of people, is being able to have that opportunity, so I appreciate you sharing that perspective. So what do you think was probably the hardest thing about moving from Ohio for you guys?
I would say just leaving family and friends. To be honest, we're from there. We've been there our whole lives, but we were really excited for a new opportunity and a new challenge. And we couldn't have picked a more beautiful place with access to the ocean, the mountains, and a lot of different places that weren't accessible from the north. And we've met a lot of new great friends like Evan.
I appreciate that. What are some of the things that you discovered that were maybe like pleasant surprises as you've gotten more accustomed to Greenville?
I think the ability to get around has been a really nice thing about Greenville. Once you've been here and know how to navigate it, it makes it super convenient and super easy and very efficient from Greer to downtown in 15 minutes.
Perfect. Can you share with everyone how long you've lived here in the Greenville area?
We moved here 3 years ago. So April of 2020.
Wow, it's been 3 years.
I know. It's flown by. So we've been here 3 years and we live in Greer. And we decided on that just when we were looking with Evan at the different areas. We wanted to be closer to the mountains. And I also knew I wanted to work at Furman University. I wanted to be within a half an hour of that. And everywhere around here, though, would have been a great place to be. Because within 30 minutes, you can get pretty much anywhere. And then once you're downtown, it's so walkable that it connects you to all the different places.
Yeah, no, that's great. And you mentioned, deciding on Greer. What was the ultimate deciding factor of why you decided Greer out of all the other options that you had?
I think at the time in April of 2020, it was
crazy real estate market.
It was a crazy real estate market at the time. There was a lot of uncertainty, but we really liked the feel of Greer and where it was located. We live in a quiet neighborhood, but we're 2 minutes from Target and Lowe's, and we can get downtown in less than 20 minutes. And I can get to work in Travelers Rest in 25 minutes, which is a huge plus for us.
Yeah. If you had to make a recommendation to somebody that is going to be moving to the Greenville area of how they could get to learn all these different areas, what would you recommend and why?
I would say just take a trip here
and
talk to the locals. I mean, honestly, we came down here and within 2 hours of arriving had recommendations for brunch. We had recommendations where to hike, where to go, and the locals just filled us in on the different vibes for the different areas, and we're just very friendly and forthcoming, and also listening to your blog and reading your posts because there's a lot of really good information on there. You can kind of get the feel for the different areas. But I think just coming here and talking to people was the biggest help to us.
What really helped was because navigation, when you're brand new to a city, it can be overwhelming. But we did do a driving tour with Evan. He took us downtown, and then we went to Simpsonville and we got some coffee, and then we went to a different location. We picked up lunch. We saw Greer.
Mountain Inn.
We saw
to dinner.
Yeah.
So he took us through a driving tour of all the different downtowns so that we could see what we liked. And then at the end of the day, we were like, we really clicked with Greer, and we had a house we really liked there. So due to him helping us out, you know, we didn't know anything before we got there, but we felt comfortable with making that decision pretty quickly.
And I'm glad you guys felt comfortable, and I appreciate you trusting me in that. I know a lot of people always kind of want to come into town and they want to see homes, which I can totally understand that perspective, but what I've kind of shared with people is the areas are so different, and even different parts of Greer can be very different experiences. I actually have a video on our channel that you could check out to learn a little bit more about that. But you know, what I really recommend to people is spend some time learning where you actually want to be located first, instead of going out and looking at homes, because you know, if you're looking for homes and it's not in the right area, you're kind of not using your time wisely. So really figure out where you want to be and what fits your lifestyle. I think is super important, and then you can take the next steps from there. What are 2 or 3 things that have kept you here in Greenville, and things that, you know, you're trying to get your friends from Ohio to move here for? What are the things you try to sell them on?
I would have to say the weather was the #1 reason.
Okay.
We love the days of sunshine here in South Carolina. You know, it's just beautiful. I would say the second is how close we are to all the different hiking spots. We love getting outside.
State parks here are absolutely amazing. Here in Greenville, they have the state parks, and they are massive. They are beautiful.
Yeah.
There are so many hiking trails, easy to medium to difficult, and it really keeps us going.
So right now you're talking to your best friend. They're thinking about moving to Greenville, South Carolina. Pick one downfall, one reason why you would say, hey, you might not want to move here. What would that be?
I would say for me, there's a lack of sidewalks in some of the neighborhoods, which we were used to a lot more sidewalks up in Dayton, Ohio. But
Yeah.
there are a lot of neighborhoods that do have them. We just happen to live in one that we don't.
Yeah.
And we found a few other neighborhoods and areas that could be a little bit more sidewalk friendly, but that's if we're nitpicking.
If we're nitpicking, you know, the infrastructure is a little bit behind. There has been so many people coming to Greenville because they fall in love with it. But, you know, places like Haywood Road are very busy around the mall. So luckily for us, we're not in that area, and we chose that very intentionally.
Yeah.
But some of the infrastructure can be behind, especially sidewalks.
Yeah, I think those 2 things, you know, the sidewalks, we're seeing that a little bit more with some of the newer construction neighborhoods. It wasn't as something that was as prevalent, but I can agree with you. There's some neighborhoods that don't offer them. And then with the infrastructure, I've mentioned this before in some of my other videos, that is a little bit of a challenge. You know, we've seen a good bit of growth here in Greenville recently, and of course that leads to traffic, that leads to new businesses, new opportunities, and all new restaurants, all of those things, which are great, but that can also lead to some bottleneck in traffic. One of the things that I think has been really great is the city of Greenville is really working on that. But also remember, there is no perfect city, so that's just something to keep in mind. But I wanted someone to hear from you guys as an honest perspective. You can go back and look at Dave and Miranda from 3 years ago. What would you tell yourself? Would you still have made the move? And is there any advice you'd give yourself?
Yes, 100 times over.
100
This
times
is one of
over.
the best moves we've ever made, and we every weekend get to do something different and fun and go exploring and meet wonderful people, and it's been absolutely incredible. 100% would love to get some people to move down here.
So as we finish up this video, you know, we probably have a lot of people that are from Ohio thinking about moving to Greenville. What's the one thing you think they need to know, they need to take away from this video if they didn't hear anything else?
You should probably move tomorrow. I mean, honestly, if you want to be here, it's a great time to live here. There's lots of transplants here, and that's makes us feel like we're at home, because we've got people from all over. You have people who were born and raised here, and I just think it's a really good mix of people, and you would fit right in.
If there's one thing I think to take away from this all, come and visit. There's nothing like being down here and finding the walkability, the dog friendly, the southern hospitality. It's real and it's alive in Greenville.
Thank you guys so much for sharing all of your time and your experience with everyone. I know this will be super helpful to someone sitting at home. Look down below. I have a free relocation guide. If you just send us an email or you can shoot a text. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and let us know we're doing a great job. And please subscribe to our channel so you can be the first to know when we release a new video. We're releasing a new video about once a week, and we'll catch you on the next video.